exploring the people, places, and technology in the growing drone industry. This is the Points of Interest Dronecast. Hi folks, and welcome to another holiday edition of Points of Interest, and we have a great guest with us today, Brad Alston, better known as B-Rad. Brad, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Looking forward to this for the last week or so. We've been talking about it.
Yeah. Brad, a lot of people know Brad a lot more than they know me. Brad is kind of a figure all around the country, going to do the fly-ins and that kind of stuff, and he's going to talk about that. But more importantly, as I've talked about with this show for a long time, is I wanted to get people involved to create this community, and he could not be a better ambassador for the sport of drone. Brad is gone. B-Rad has been everywhere. So I want you to talk about where you've gone, some of these events that you were part of.
Yeah. So I'll just give a little backstory. I think I got into drones. Started. We had a conversation earlier today and some travels, but started talking about drones and thinking about drones back in about 2014.
Right.
The toy drones were around, and people flying those in the house, crashing them into everything,
getting
them hung up in their kids' hair and stuff like that. So,
right.
Scaring the cats,
dogs and cats,
dogs and cats. But and I knew about those and just thought they were just a gimmick and kind of a cheap thing to buy. But I never really got into them, and I had a couple people that had them and never flew one. Looked like they struggled flying them, trying to control the sticks and and everything. So. About 2015, a friend of mine had a drone that he crashed, and it was a Chroma.
Oh, yeah.
And it looked like a Phantom series DJI product.
Sure,
I didn't know anything about DJI or any drones for that matter.
This stuff wasn't hardly on the map yet.
He bought it secondhand at a hobby shop from Hobby Lobby, I think it was.
Okay. Yeah.
And took it home and took off and came down and clipped his gutter immediately within a minute and crashed it and tore it all to pieces.
Right.
So anyway, long story short about that was he gave it to me at one point. And I didn't know what I was doing with it. I did some research, went on to eBay, Amazon, etc. Found parts, had to replace the shell, some motors, gimbal mounts. It was a lot of work. I had the kitchen table just covered with parts. I'm good mechanically that way. I know how to work on things and solder and stuff like that. But anyway, it took me a while, but after a couple of days, I got it all together, documented it a little bit, took it outside and connected it and took off and flew and sat there in elevation and just I put the controller down. I was like, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. So
I mean, it's a game changer. And being you're near my age, we were kids. We got to play with everything from the balsa wood airplanes.
Yep, absolutely.
To we talked about this before because I have one, the whirly-bird.
Yep,
right.
Absolutely.
So we always had this desire for flight, right? Our toys to fly, and you finally. I mean, now at that point you're in your 50s, and you're like, you finally got the toy that does what we always dreamt of.
I know. It's like being able to get up there in the unknown and being able, other than being in an airplane or a helicopter or something of that, or a tall building in a city. I was always fascinated about heights when it came to that. I mean, the highest I've ever been was like at the Sears Tower in Chicago one time.
Oh, yeah.
And looking out, and that was before I got involved in drones, and that was amazing. That's the first time I ever been at that kind of elevation.
Right.
I'd only flown a couple of times, but never a window seat. I was kind of leery about that.
Sure. But that feeling.
That feeling was great. So
pull your mic over a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
There you go.
Yep, maybe that'd be a little better. So then once I got that drone going, a buddy of mine was over when I flew it a couple of days later. And I thought, you know what? I wanted to see what else is out there. And I heard about DJI and started watching these videos. And a gentleman by the name of Kelly Shores with a channel called Ready Set Drone on YouTube. I started watching his videos, and I didn't know who he was. I didn't know what a DJI drone was, but he was reviewing that stuff. And anyway,
he was really early in.
He was. Yeah. He was a very, very early in. He's been in drones for a long time.
Right.
And I was working for a company that allowed me to do some traveling. So I was in Alston, Texas one day, and I ran into him. We caught up with each other. So I got involved with drones. But he and I chatted about maybe a meetup or some sort. After we got to know each other, we kind of became like brothers. And I traveled out there quite a bit.
What part of the state was
in Alston, Texas.
In Austin, Texas.
And he still has a strong channel today and still does a lot of things for the drone community. And so we started talking about a meetup, and then one thing led to another, and he created and hosted a meetup called Spin Up.
Okay.
And the very first one, I think if I remember right, was in 2020. I want to say, no, it was before COVID, so it'd be 2018 or 2019. I don't have all my notes right in front of me. But I went to that, and there was about 50 people there, and had speakers, and he had prizes and giveaways.
So prizes are really
it was at the Dell Diamond, of all places, in Round Rock, Texas,
right,
which is part of the Dell Corporation. They have a ball field there where a lot of teams play, and they have concerts there. Matter of fact, Snoop Dogg was playing there the next day after we had the event.
Nice.
So that was funny. And so we were there with that. So one thing led to another, and I know this story's getting long-winded, but he decided to do it again the next year and the next year, and it ended up being like 5 or 6 of them. And we just had one last year in 2023. And I usually do some stuff to help behind the scenes. I don't qualify as being part of the team that puts it all on. He did a lot of that, but I did help behind the scenes.
That's the thing that I've heard so much, is that you go to them and just help facilitate, and that's, people don't realize how important that is right there, because you got your hands full. Your people are coming in, they want to know what's what, and you don't have enough people to operate the check-in and things like that. You have come over there to these events and not only been a part of them, but you've made yourself useful in so many ways, right?
Yeah.
That's the really cool thing. And so that's kind of, I want to go back to why I pulled B-Rad. I begged him to say, we need you as part of our channel, because you go into these events, you're part of them, you know more people than anybody I've ever met in the community. You're going to be our reporter. So for the rest of this year, we are going to put a Osmo Pocket 3 in his hands, and he is going to travel, when he travels to these events, help document, right?
Yeah.
And talk to these guys and show us and show you, our audience, what is going on in this country.
Yeah,
and so you tell me some of the other events that you've been a part of.
Yeah, so those things kind of, blossomed to other events in the country. And one of the next biggest ones was really in South Florida. There was a gentleman by the name of Ray Kelly. They call him Captain Ray.
Right.
He's a
we
captain.
saw you on his show.
Yep, I've been on his show a number of times, and he has those every week or every other week. And we talked about that. But we had a discussion back in 21. And it was just going to be a handful of us again. It was going to be a small group, maybe 10, 12, maybe a few more. But Florida's a destination, for vacations and, just getting away.
So many things to do,
summertime weather. So we decided to have something down there. And it was roughly April. I don't remember the very first one's date, but it was in Palm Bay, Florida.
Okay.
And we were going to be at a park. And we did that. But it ended up being probably 50 plus people that came to that event from around the country.
That's awesome.
And mostly in the United States. A couple people, I forgot what the furthest one. There was a contest on who drove the furthest, or who came the furthest, who flew or came the furthest.
Right.
And I don't remember. I think it was Colorado. Maybe I have a friend of mine. His name is Ron Lockwood, and he lives out that way, or did. He now lives further out. But we did that event and was totally surprised. We had a lot of sponsors, a lot of people in the community sponsored by giving drones. All the way down to stickers, drones, T-shirts, hats, mouse pads, anything drone related. And I even made, so the first year, I don't know if we want to talk about all the drone events first.
Well,
but for that,
we're going to get into those. As a matter of fact, just to our audience knows, you're going to start watching here, because every week or two, Brad's going to give us a new update for an event coming on. And just on that same aside, on my newly published website, it's iflydrones.com, we added a new events calendar. And what we're going to try to do is make sure that all the events across the country Brad's going to keep up with, ones he hadn't even been a part of yet, we're going to put those onto the calendar so more people can know if something's happening in your region, you can support it, or if you want to fly across the country and be a part like you've done. You just did Vegas, right?
I did. So that was the latest one I went to. This was a brand new one. It's the inaugural, or they wanted to say it was the first annual, but there's no such thing as a first annual.
Right.
So anyway, it's kind of funny. Initial inaugural. So it was a Vegas drone meetup, and hosted by Bob Dempsey and Tom Dowling. They live out there in Vegas, and they come to all the other drone events, or at least Bob has been to a lot of them. Tom Dowling, he hasn't been to I don't think, but maybe a few, if any, that I've been to. But they put on a great event, a lot of lessons learned from previous events, talking to Ray Kelly.
How many people were at that?
Oh my gosh, 70 plus, probably.
Nice.
So,
and you flew from Richmond.
I did.
Ken came from Tennessee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Ken's obviously, well known around this
Ken Herron, yes,
this business, and he's always things other places. Like, I want you to show right now. So you get dabble into the 3D world.
Oh
right?
yeah,
3D
absolutely.
printing.
That's kind of my passion, hobby.
And I think another part of what I want to have you show us in the upcoming episodes is maybe a little 3D work for drones. I'm going to be selling stuff on my website right now with Prak. Prak has got some designs that he's done. They're on my website. If you go to the shop, you can purchase some of that stuff. But we want to look at other opportunities and other designs that are going to be useful to us drone flyers, right? But the coolest thing that I noticed you did that kind of connected you with some of these events is you created a challenge coin, right? Yeah,
I wanted to have, and I'll go back a little bit on the beginnings of that. From the very first one at South Florida Drone Meetup, not Spin Up so much, Ready Set Drone with Kelly, because he had a paid event. Ready Set Drone, he always, everything was formal, and it was very nice, and you had to pay to come to that event. But when we started doing the South Florida Drone Meetup talks and everything, I always thought of that. Yeah, everybody likes taking home swag.
Sure.
Some type of swag, whether it be stickers, T-shirts, hats, or whatever. So I was trying to think, what could I do to give back to the community out of my pocket, and just something I could do, and the thing I came up with was I wanted to create like a maker coin. I'd seen that kind of thing going around. People for years have done maker coins or challenge coins, as you called it. But I call it a maker coin, or even kind of a fidget toy now, and I'll show why I say that in a minute. But the biggest thing was when you go to a concert, if you get a special VIP pass, what do you get? You get a backstage pass, a photo, and you got a lanyard. You get a backstage pass. So what I did was I decided on the very first event, which was I'm going way back in time here, is if I can find it. Now I've got a whole bunch of them here. I'm pulling out. Let's just use this one. This one's from 23. I created lanyard badges. Nice. And then also. Have other things in there, and some of these I keep. And we'll do a nice close up of this too for the audience to see. But that looks really good. So you did the print job. I did the print job. Now the graphics. Somebody else did this as a sticker, which will show. He'll show on the screen so close up. And so that's been used many a times. It's been a sticker that's been used. And you can stick your certification, drone certificates badges in here, your 102 or 107, those kind of things you can just stick in the back, or your driver's license, and, that kind of thing. That is really nice. So you did one of these for everybody who's come to the show. So Ray Kelly at that show, he keeps a list, and people say they're coming, he writes their name down. They're not committed to coming, he wants them to be, but there's no payment, it's a free event. So he gives me the list of names at somewhere towards the end, and then I print them up and try to put everybody's name on them and personalize it. Right. Otherwise, I create these with just a blank panel, and then we write them in for the people. Sure. And I do that there. But it's still nice because they get the lanyard and everything. And then when you go around, this is my worst problem, especially at my age. I'll know somebody, meet somebody, walk up to them, and can't remember the name. Right. But if you've got that lanyard on, it really helps. Right, so you're wearing the lanyard, and what I did was, because they kind of just flop around in the wind, I printed on both sides. Oh, good. And I didn't print a different image on both sides. So it's your name, and so it's always visible, because a lot of times you see where they're just printed, and you've got, I've got things in this one. This is from Spin Up, but it's on one side. Yeah. So you have to go up and say, "Excuse me, hi, how are you doing?" Yep, that's right, Jim. That's right. So that was another thing to help the community get to know each other better. Yeah, of course. So the other thing that I do, and it's part of my giveaways, because I was starting to dabble into laser engraving. Yeah. I decided, still doing that, right? And I'm still doing it, and a little bit. I'm doing more 3D printing type stuff now. And you can do some of that stuff custom for some of our customers out there. Yep, if a customer wants something, absolutely, reach out. Yeah. So I decided to start doing cork coasters. And those are gorgeous. Yep, and so it's just like It's
Yeah.
just like the lanyard badges to a degree.
And I
but-
love the cork feel.
Yep,
It's
and
such
very
a
nice cork. I
and-
actually order these, order 150, 200 at a time, and then
Nice.
laser engrave them. Have to clean them up a little bit with the charring and
But it's
everything.
so it's really the graphic is super clean. That's awesome.
Yep. So
you-
those I give away as
so
well.
it's part of the swag when they
it's
get
part of the swag that I give away. Everybody gets one of these.
Show the coins real quick. I want to
Yeah.
point those out.
So the first event was more of a maker coin that I designed.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot on the YouTube University, as I call it.
yeah,
So-
yeah, of course. We only wish they had that when we were like
I know.
13.
YouTube and Google, two
Right.
things I would love to
We would be
have.
so smart today.
So I created this, and I don't know if you can show a close up of this
Yeah.
later, but I just created, it says SFDM, South Florida Drone Meetup. It's got a picture of the state, and then 2023, and on the back, I kind of added a little bit of a drone on the middle of the back of it,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
nice.
it's made by, and I kind of self-advertised,
Wow.
made by B-Rad Alston.
There you go.
So, and
you got a
then
little B-Rad swag.
I
under you.
designed that, and
Yeah.
then it moved on and on. The next event I went to was Minefield 2023 that year.
Right.
I'd been to Minefield before,
Yeah,
but
you've got the tower on there
So-
and the water tower
Yeah.
and wow, that's really
so
cool.
that's just like what Ken Herron had
Yeah.
on the website.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's part of the badge I did
badge
for
looks the
that.
same, yeah.
And so I took these graphics and incorporated them in that.
Nice.
And that was right when I got my Bamboo Lab P1S, which has multicolor capabilities.
That is so
that's my
cool.
very first attempt at doing 2 colors.
Yeah.
I didn't get real bold and do 4 right away.
No, but it's really
that came out
sweet.
nice. So the next thing in that year was Spin Up, South Florida, or excuse me, Spin Up, Ready Set Drone 2023, and I thought I want to make something, and that's part of the whole. Just like this shirt, we're Ready Set
Right,
Drone.
yeah.
I wanted to put his logo on here for
Looks
that,
good.
and then the colors. This is the blue
Right.
color of the
So
shirt.
you got 3 colors in this one.
So I actually have 3 colors. No, it's actually 4 colors. So
Okay.
it's blue, black, red, and white.
Oh, wow. And
So
that's all done on the 3D printer.
It is, and all one in place. So I put it. It's made. I do a bunch of them at a time.
So just out of curiosity,
Well,
how long does it take you to print that?
So I can print 8 of these in about 10 hours.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of swaps of colors.
Sure, sure.
And the machine has to eject, or as Bamboo calls it, and I laugh when I say this, the machine, they call it poop.
Yeah, you're
So
telling me this.
they retract the old color, bring in the new color, and you got to purge a little bit,
right.
and it poops out a little bit of plastic.
That makes
It's
sense.
funny, but it's what it does, and that's what they call it. But this one, I wanted to take it a step further. The event is called Spin Up.
Right.
And I thought, I want something that's spun, and then there's some fidget toys out there that were coming around, or
Right.
fidget 3D prints and toys where things spin. So I designed this from learning off of YouTube University,
Right.
and I designed it, and I'm gonna hold it like this, but it spins.
Look at that.
So, and it's all made in place. So there's
Oh.
no bearings or anything. It's
And us
printed.
ADHD type of people, we have something to do now for hours.
The only problem is it doesn't click. So some
yeah.
people like the clicking
Right,
sensation.
right.
That's my next
Cool,
level.
cool. Let's
Or I
go.
might have given something away for the next one. I don't know.
Talking about 3D print.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I was going to show you. This is. I got this one off the internet. This guy's pretty famous. He made those cine sticks, if you remember
Mm-hmm.
those. Okay. And so this is his little Neo box, and it's really cute. It's hardcore, and it does a great job. The only thing it's missing, in retrospect, was it needed the place to put the battery, so you can only put one battery with it. But it's a great design. Got a little clip on it. It's even got a thing here. You can put
yeah.
a belt clip. It
Oh,
is
yeah.
on there, and you can belt clip it to yourself, so it's small enough
pretty nice.
just to have it on your waist and go around. And he's even printed into it Neo, which
Mm-hmm.
I thought was pretty cool. So I'm loving 3D stuff, and we want to do more talk about that. And if you're out there in our audience and you've got some cool 3D stuff, please share with us. And next time we're on, we'll go, hey, this is a cool thing that Jim from Oregon is building, and we just want to show it and demonstrate how well it works for the drone community. And then we'll put your information. If you want to try to print them and sell them, you can do that. If you want to print them and sell them through my website, be glad to do that for you. We're just excited about sharing the experience and sharing these things. And Brad is way ahead of the game with all his his swag stuff. Let me see those red, blue, and that's another
so
South
that was
Florida?
another level. Yeah, I'll let you show that one.
Okay.
So that's South Florida of this year. So
That
I had
is
to
just
take
gorgeous.
the Ready Set Drone one. Everybody loved this, and they put it on. I made it so you could put it on your keychain. It has a hole in it.
Right.
So in Florida, I thought, what am I going to do to top this?
Right.
I had no idea what to do,
think
so I
you
went
did
back and redesigned this whole model.
see that?
And now that one spins as well, but it's got a drone in the middle of it, and there's holes all around it. I wanted to kind of create a three-dimensional effect, and it kind of did that.
Oh, it's
and it
awesome.
pokes on through, and you can still put that on your keychain.
That's awesome.
So that's another one that just prints right on the bed. I
Yep.
print about 8 or 10 of them at a time. Takes about an hour per.
Right.
But it's a lot of little poops comes off of this because
Right.
it's changing every layer, 0.2 millimeters.
Right, gotta
And
do
actually, I
another
did these
color.
at 0.16 millimeter to get about a
So
finer
your
detail.
3D handles 4 colors simultaneously? Okay.
So
Gotcha.
and I can do more because you can buy more units.
Well, listen, folks, we won't keep you all day. This is kind of a holiday special, and probably this one is airing right after the new year. So happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
And we're going to be busy this year. Matter of fact, we're going to put on some events here locally that B-Rad and I will be organizing together. And we hope to, we'll send it out there to everybody to please, if you want to come through. I think one of the next ones I want to do, and you were part of one I did some time back, was the drone scavenger. Photo scavenger hunt.
That was fun.
We had a lot of fun with that, and some really good results. I think one of the next ones I'm going to do, I bought a whole obstacle course, okay, with all the hoops, and it's not going to be exactly FPV racing exactly, but we're going to have some fun. You can fly through the huge space that we're going to create for you, and we'll do some racing too. I've got a big clock. You see in the back?
I think I did.
It's about 4 feet wide with the numbers on it. So we'll have the timer up there. We'll see how good people do, and we hope to do that here still in the middle of the winter. I'm kind of hoping for a January, February date, and we'll call it like the midwinter classic or something.
That'll be fun. That's gonna be fun.
So we'll get busy with that. But listen, we really appreciate you guys, and we're going to come back in January with full shows again with Prac. And we got Justin now with us doing new stuff and more interviews. And Brad's going to be out there interviewing with his camera, doing stuff on site, and sharing 3D with us. It's going to be a great year. We hope that you'll tune in for more episodes because we've got more great people to really make this thing special. So thank you for watching. And we hope to see you throughout the new year. Make sure you comment on us too. Send us your ideas. And Brad, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Brad and I have been together all day. We went out and did 2 RTK construction sites and then one just a mapping job. So it was kind of your first experiences with that kind of the more industrial side, the unfun side of droning.
Well, I had fun.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's just
it's commercial. It's work.
It's
right?
work. It's a work side, right? So anyway, guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you throughout the new year. Take care and fly safe.